The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from Bob Cajun. I'm Terry.
And I'm Jim, and I am not in Pefferlaw, where I reside. But I came here, and I got a wonderful breakfast, and now wonderful chatting with my good friend, Terry the Wigmore from Bob Cajun.
Terry, the psychotherapist. We spend so much time in between these podcasts, between when we press record and stop, just talking about life and journeys. But we're going to catch up to some, this is going to be our potpourri. Things that we didn't talk about, but I got a list. I'm using my old, this is one I bought for the Jim and Terry Show way back when. It's bamboo, and it's erasable board. So I've got my notes here, some things, and we'll just go through the rest of the list for this podcast. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear facility is being shelled, and one of the Russian advisors to the International Atomic Energy Agency was told by a Russian guide to the facility on their inspection that missile that was sticking to the ground at an obvious angle that points back to source in Russia was really fired from Ukraine, and just before it hit the ground, it did a 180-degree turn.
You cannot believe anything. When a Russian official's mouth is moving, they're lying. And it's the same as they tell their people, not Russian people, don't get mad at me. The Russian people are fine. They're just believing their authorities. Their authorities are liars in everything, every word that comes out of their mouth. I doubt if they can even say they love their children. That's how much I disdain their whole lying world.
I do follow Bob Rae. I've liked him as a politician from the time I came across him as leader of the NDP in the province of Ontario. I followed his career. He's now Canada's ambassador to the United Nations. I follow him on Twitter just to see the things that he's encountering in the course of his duties representing you and I, the Jim and Terry Show, because we're in Canada and Bob Rae is representing us at the United Nations. And he's basically saying the same thing you just said about Russia and propaganda.
Yeah, and it's not the people again, so if our audience is getting mad at me, it's look, I don't like it in Canada, don't like it in the United States, don't like it in any official anywhere. When they know they're lying, I just can't stand that.
Okay,
and they tell people a lie.
Besides the point of lying, let's get on to the significance of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear energy plant. The significance is there's Russian military vehicles inside that plant. There is shelling going on very close to the plant. And are you, with the Lost in Space, going to say, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger"?
I'm saying danger for sure. It's there's a lot of things, because even if they cut the hydro lines through a mishap, firing or shelling or doing whatever, running over it with a tank, whatever they do, then there's a real possibility of a meltdown. And a meltdown, well, look at Chernobyl. Yeah. It still can't be lived in, probably won't be able to be lived in for 2,000 years. That's a long time, Terry, to have a chunk of land absolutely, taken away from you. And it is an understanding within war that you don't battle around nuclear plants. This is the third one now that the Russians have been playing around with. They hide their stuff there, knowing they can't be shelled. They're just despicable when it comes to those tactics. And I would say the same if the Ukraine were hiding their stuff at a nuclear plant, knowing they can't, Same as I don't like terrorists and stuff that hide their launch sites and missiles around the public, knowing that they get extra points when their adversary bombs those places and causes civilian casualties or collateral damage, if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the one that was controversial because it may lead to a run on iodine pills to reduce radiation poisoning. So there could be complications because when that plant releases the Chernobyl-style cloud, that affects everybody.
Yeah.
And it becomes, by definition, a nuclear war zone.
Yeah, it's a dirty bomb.
Dirty bomb.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a concern for me going forward. How about, I know I'll switch it up to something light. Suitcase-sized sailboat going from Newfoundland to Ireland.
I agree with that guy's wife. He's crazy.
He is. Do you expect to see him alive?
Well, yeah, the only thing that bothers me of such things is all of a sudden they lose contact, and now millions of dollars are spent trying to hunt the guy down. There's got to be some nautical rule that says, no, you can't go out in an ocean in a boat that big. But there isn't. So you're always going to get the glory seekers or whatever. Or,
Guinness Book of Records seekers?
Guinness Book of Record, so we can maybe do speeches around the world. I don't know. It's when it goes awry that it bothers me, and the cost of trying to find the person and bring them back safely.
Would you use the same cost argument for mountain climbing?
Yes.
So should you have to pay a fee for accessing these mountains in case there's an avalanche, in case you get
Maybe
stuck?
you should have to approach an insurance company in order to be covered for search parties and everything else that has to happen. I knew of a person, I think it was in Perry Sound, who went out in the ice when they were already told, don't go out in the ice, and he was presented with a bill for his rescue. Wow. I totally agreed with it.
Yes, I'm very supportive of that kind of thing. I'm not saying people should be reckless. I'm not sure that they should take advantage of a public safety situation that Canada has and many countries have, where the rescuers are willing to put their lives on the line to rescue somebody who is accidentally in trouble.
Yeah, but what put himself or herself in that trouble.
Okay.
And for your thrill, I don't know the answer to that, is because I'm not a thrill seeker that way. So it's not in my blood to go put my life on the line to climb a cliff. I'm kind of afraid of heights.
Yeah, me too. The notion is of carrying and putting the EMS workers, the rescue workers, in peril to rescue somebody who, knowing the risks, took the risks. Yeah. But we can't let them suffer, can we?
No, and the sad thing about it is, how many of those people who've lost their lives, who they were trying to rescue, are they brokenhearted? Are they sad? Or do they somehow think they deserve someone else to die or be crippled? Trying to rescue them. Yeah, then it's not a good thing. Put yourself in trouble. I think you need to pay some kind of a fine of some sort, rescued or not. And maybe they need to start. If you have to have insurance before you go take a boat out that's only the size of a suitcase on the Atlantic Ocean and decide to be gone for 60 days.
I think the licensing fee, because you have to register all your vessels, that should be through the roof. You should be spending whatever the estimated cost of rescue, that should be the cost of your license.
And then if he dies, the sorrow and the heartache to those who love him.
Yeah, that's true.
I find it a very selfish kind of thing to do, but I understand why others wouldn't.
How about Coutts? Do you remember the Coutts Bridge, the Coutts crossing out west as part of the trucker convoy to Ottawa? A border crossing was taken over?
Yes.
Okay, so strange things. I was told when I was making arguments of this trucker convoy as it was unfolding that, we've learned that there were weapons there. And there's a possible armed insurrection. This is sort of J6 kind of stuff. Only it's in Canada. Are Canadians going to be as militant as the January 6th insurrectionists? And I was getting feedback from others arguing that, there was nothing. It's just a few pistols and, you're not going to do anything. Turns out the intention is what makes a crime. So if your intention is to kill RCMP officers, you're guilty of a crime.
And if you've got that kind of armory with you, there's a good chance even an accident could happen.
And how did we find out about this? That was the article that I sent you. CBC was the one where it was posted. Do you remember?
Yeah, he got ratted out, I think. Didn't they get ratted out?
Yeah, by 2 female undercover cops.
Yeah.
With the rationale, said the organizers of the violence, that it would look better, and the police would turn their blind eye to women carrying a hockey bag full of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it's bad. I don't know how anybody can justify it, but they're going to justify it. This is a real problem we find ourselves in North America and probably around the world. You know, you've got blatant violations of law and everything else, and people are just ignoring that and saying, no, it's fine for them to do that. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Violations of the law. That seems to be an operating principle these days.
It does.
Sad but true. This is the Jim and Terry Show. Wrapping it up. I'm Terry.
And I'm Jim.